We are Steve and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2126. Today, Jill and I are talking about, is remailing land offers effective? What this topic is really about is this. And I have to say, I am not the author of remailing land offers. I learned this a million years ago from somebody in Land Academy over 10 years ago in a live event scenario where we were all talking about what makes us successful, what doesn't. Remailing land offers is this. I spend all this time and energy picking a market. I put the deal together, and I not put the deal together. I price it correctly and spend a substantial amount of time, and I'm all done. I wipe my hands and say, send it back to the printer, to offers to owners, and it goes out in the mail. And I buy a couple properties. Well, I'm lazy. It worked. I sent out 5, 8, some thousand number of letters. I did 2 great deals. Why don't I just send it out again? Send it right back to the printer and say, just mail it again. This is something I would think, that's probably not going to work, but it's magical. If you get it into a system and remail offers, especially if you slightly change the price. And we'll get into the details of that in a second. This week, all week, Jill and I are talking about staying ahead of the land market in 2025. Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum and take a deep dive into land-related topics by popular request.
Okay, Ben wrote, do you guys have a general net profit percentage you work off of total revenue once you have everything up and running? For example, if you have a gross revenue of $100,000, presumably about $50,000 would be purchase costs, plus your data costs, mailer costs, closing costs, etc. I'm thinking the actual net profit before taxes is around 30 to 35% of total gross revenue. Is that accurate to your experience?
Yes.
Trying to get our first, second, and third year goals set, and this would help in establishing where we need to be to quit the day jobs and go full time.
I love this question. Love it.
Yep.
If you do this correctly, and I'm not saying you will in your first year, or really even your second year, but what we've seen with Land Academy members, and certainly this has been my experience, is as follows. Around your third year of operation, and you have less questions and more success instead of more questions like you do in the beginning, and a little bit of less learning curve. But at whatever point you hit the learning curve and you've hit the sort of end of it, you will experience doubling your money buying and selling land. So in general, if you buy a property for $50,000 and sell it for $100,000, you're going to kind of land on that after you try other things. Trying to squeeze more out of a real estate deal is harder, and with less success, and making less on a real estate deal is easy, but you got to do more deals. Below that, you have your regular costs. So now you've got what I would call 100%, 50% gross margin if you're going to look at it 100%. You sold it for $100,000, you paid $50,000 for the property, so you've got $50,000 from then to deduct regular business expenses. So my long answer here is yes, 30 to 35% is probably pretty accurate. And if you look at any business, if you're doing 30 to 35%, you're doing incredibly well.
I choose not to comment because this is totally Jack's area.
There are ways.
He does all kinds of things in our, I'll tell you, in our professional, and personal world. When it comes to money and revenue and taxes and how we allocate things, 100% Jack.
Here's a tip. Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't it be great to take the cost of goods sold here, or the actual thing that you're selling, out of the equation? Well, yeah. How do I do that? You use deal funding. So you find a piece of property that you're going to buy for $50,000, and instead of buying it, you call us. We fund your deal. We help you sell it for $100,000, and we split the profit. So now you've made $75,000. You've made $25,000 instead of $50,000, but you didn't have to come up with the money. So now you have all this time and a lot less angst and worry and all of it about putting your own money into this thing. And you have the expertise of people like us on the back end of the deal. So all you have to do is go out and buy great property.
Mm-hmm. And then you could do 4 of them at the same time, by the way.
or 40. Because you didn't have to write the check.
Well, there's a thought.
I'm glad you asked this question.
Yeah.
Today's topic is remailing land offers effective. It's incredibly effective until it's not. and it's very massive time and energy saver. Like I said earlier in the episode, if you find an area that works, now this is what we do. We'll remail it once or twice, and we usually have success with that. But there's a point where you're remailing it and changing the prices, like I said earlier, either up or down. The whole point of remailing is this: the seller gets an offer from you, the first one, and the switch goes off and says, "These guys want to buy my property for $38,322." I talked to my wife. She doesn't care. She doesn't really want to sell it. So there's nothing really motivating me to call this person back. 2 months go by. They get an offer again from us for $31,300. What changed? I better call this guy, because maybe he's going to send me an offer 3 months from now. It's going to be $28,000.
I think the other thing too is you're going to hit a different round of people. There's also going to be people that shredded it right away. They didn't even open it. They're like, oh, whatever, they throw it away. So, and it wasn't the situation. It was January 20th, whatever it was. And that was not the day that they needed the mail. But guess what? On April 3rd, when we're staring at our tax return, now it's the right time. I'm writing a check.
Love it.
So, and they didn't give it any thought. They don't even remember you. They don't remember your name. They did not keep it. So sometimes too, and I noticed that we do it sometimes when we hit good areas, like this area is great. Let's hit it again. Maybe we're going to get more people, different people, and just like that, because the situation now changed.
If you're in a fishing situation and you throw the line in, you pull a fish out immediately, are you going to throw it back in the same place? Absolutely. In fact, you're going to probably try to hit targets pretty close to it. So that's my second and final point here. You found a place that this works, and you've hopefully got it for an amazing price. And the properties are now at the point where you're thinking about remailing. The properties are either for sale or are sold, the properties that you purchased. So what I want you to do is change your offer, consider changing, adding to different acreages. So if you smacked it at, change the lure on the line, make it send out the lure for some bigger fish. So get larger acreage property. There's obviously sellers in this fishing hole that you found. So
I love that. You did all the 1 to 20 acres, let's just say, and you killed it. So now what else? You made a team. You did all the 1 to 20 acres. You bought 10. You did great. Now you have an agent that you love. You have a real estate agent, right? You have a title agent that you love. You've got a little team started here. Why would you not go back now and go, now I'm doing all the 20 to 40 acres. And then I'm done with that. I'm going to go the 40 and above. And then maybe when I'm done with that, I circle back around. We've talked about this often. I mean, we move around just because situation. Jack's always watching the situation and pivoting to where we need to be. But boy, in some parts of this country, you could be happily doing deals for multiple years in the same county, just hanging out.
We had a guy in Career Path who never left the subdivision. He only stayed knew everybody. And it was a place where people were dropping mobile homes, and there were it wasn't a regular land market. But he came to us and said, I just need one more subdivision and I can retire. Mm-hmm. And he found it. Found it during Career Path. Career Path is the mastermind sessions that Jill and I teach once or twice a year, I guess. Mm-hmm. Join us tomorrow where we discuss navigating land market trends to stay ahead in 2025. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.